Let's battle for Lord of the board. Hatcher's got the insights, he's got us all on board. In the world of magic, the gathering, he's a master and a guide. So let's talk MTG and take the ride. Take the ride. For more fun, you better subscribe. You never won't miss the vibe. Take the ride. the ride. For more fun, you better subscribe. You never want to miss the vibe.
Always doing it sunny side up. It's the hen. What up, my friends? How you doing? I have had a full day to recover from my trip to the States. And we're here to break it down. We're going to go over all the details. And I'm I'm more energized by the laughs I had today, having a chuckle at Wizards of the Coast goofbag shenanigans. So hopefully the stream is running properly. It looks like it's actually given some issues here. So let's hope those get resolved. I don't know 100% what's going on with that. So it looks like it's kind of jorking back and forth. We'll give it a minute. Let's share the live stream link, and then we'll go from there. All right. So this is I got a lot to say. My friends. All right. So let's go ahead and share the live stream notification stuff here. First things first. Using my non-Dvorak keyboard, which I know Tinsman would strongly disapprove of. That's fine. I can work it just fine. There we go. All right. That's good. So, switch this up. Let's do our hellos. What up, Millmaster, Gossip, Baba, what's up? Somebody was actually at the event with me. Jess, Shipman, I know you wanted to show up but couldn't. Fisher, Shelton, Zircon, Yamagoro, Blackburn, Hurst, Gianna, Anthroplasm, Andrew, Nishimoto, Joe, Diamond, 10-4, Sheba, how's it going? You guys doing good? Like I said, I'm rested up, and now I told you guys yesterday when we did the treat stream going over all the treats we got in the States that I would tell you all of the stuff that went down. Andrew, you were there at the Shattering. Nice. Diamond, yeah, obviously talking about wanting my jacket. I know who that was. I know who you were. Don't worry. We'll get to your weirdness later on, okay? We'll definitely touch on that part of the story as well. So, let's start at the very beginning, all right? I was invited out to the Shattering, which is a card game. They were having their launch event, all right? That's the deal. They're having their launch event. They're having their launch event in Columbia, South Carolina. And they said, hey, we want you to come out. Are you willing to sit down and discuss the details? So, full disclosure, I'm gonna let you guys know my thought process and how it went here. All right, Bob, damn right, I got a lot of energy, buddy. I'm back to full speed barreling down the track. So when they first reached out to me, I will say, hesitant about certain things. Okay, when it comes to new card games, you don't know what you're dealing with, and these guys have had a fair bit of challenge. You don't know when you're going into this if you're dealing with people who are on the up and up overall. But they did have a big carrot to dangle in front of me. That carrot being Brian Tinsman, one of the lead designers of Magic the Gathering, right? Like, not anymore, but once upon a time, he worked on a whole bunch of different sets. And I had talked with Tinsman in the past. He had popped into some streams. We had some back and forth. In fact, he sent me some cool Magic historical items. So for me, basically, I was like, okay, I have the opportunity to come and check out a new card game and see in person if it's the real deal. But even if I don't actually gel with the game at all, I can go down and meet Tinsman. That was initially what this was. It's like, hey, you know what? If it turns out that the game ain't so great, if it turns out that they are skeezers or whatever else, then screw it. I got to go to America, which I haven't done in a long time, and I got to meet Tinsman. And Carly hasn't really gotten to go on trips like this. So we had the initial conversation, and we sorted out the details, which honestly didn't take very long. It was a pretty easy sort of setup discussing what was going down, but I didn't know what I was walking into. I thought it might be like a timeshare sales vacation. Who knows? Who knows? Like, I have had some really skeezy people try and pull some crazy nonsense. And at the end of the day, a lot of companies tend to be trying to take advantage of you, pull one over on you, or undervalue you. There's a lot of things you have to watch out for when you do this kind of stuff, right? So I figured we'd give it a go. My buddy Wayne, who happens to be the dude who invented Double Strike for Magic the Gathering. What's up, Waffle? He basically had said to me in the past, hey man, if you want to go on trips like to the States or wherever else, you want to go on a road trip, then we can totally do that. You just gotta let me know. Hey, there he is right there. He just entered the chat. What's up, Wayne? Haven't been insulted in like 24 hours, so I had to join. How'd you like that Adam's apple action, bro? What up, Skeezy? your name is not a great name to have when I'm calling people who are scammers skeezers. But anyways, what's up, bro? What's going on, Drunkle? So basically, we hammer out this initial arrangement, and they're gonna hook us up with a hotel room. They're gonna bring us down to check out the game, and I'm on board. I was like, okay, yeah, like, I don't stand to lose much other than possibly my time or my life going to America. My mom freaked out. She was like, I hope that you'll do your research, and I hope that you'll make an educated decision. And I'm like, okay, Mom, listen, you got to stop watching so much news and calm down. And actually, there was a bunch of people saying the same kind of thing online. And I'm just going to tell you right now, that people need to touch grass for real, okay? The States isn't some madhouse where as soon as you go in, they're going to cheese grate your ball and put a shotgun up to your neck. Like, it's... People are like, oh my God, it's going to be insane. You're going to die. And it's like, listen, you spend too much time online. It's like everything. People freak out online. But in reality, everything is way more chill in person. All this insanity you see online is just that, insanity online. So this trip went off. There was no danger. You're not going into some crazy wastelands, but some people just can't help themselves but freak out. And I kind of feel bad for them because they're not living in reality. They're living in an overblown facade. They have bought into nonsense they've been fed online, right? Hey, what up, loco? I talked to the government, and you are going to be put on a watch list and kept away from those kids. So ultimately, people just say this absurd nonsense and act like everywhere is this ultra danger zone, right? It's just pointless. It's pointless, but whatever. Probably not going to listen to me telling them to calm down. I mean, even Double Strike was like, I'm kind of worried. And I said, there's nothing to worry about. It's all online hubbub nonsense. What up, Rain? So ultimately, what's going on with the camera here? Hold on, let me fix that. So ultimately, we get everything together, and Carly packs up all the bags real nice, make sure we got all the things that we need for traveling. And she did a great job, by the way. She made sure that we were good in that regard. So we are heading to the border. Now, the border to me is the biggest concern, okay? Because if they're like, yo, you can't come into the country, then this whole journey's done before it started. We go to the border, it's like a half an hour to get there, and then they just turn us around. So for the first moment, Diamond, listen, Carly doesn't know who Midnight is. Say, I'm Degenerate Jesus Spine Man Hat Guy, and maybe she'll know. But everybody doesn't know your random usernames, all right? That doesn't work. That doesn't work. So we get to the border, concerned that we might not be let in. Normal level concerns, right? We're not carrying anything we shouldn't. So the border guard does that thing with the passport, right? Where he grabs your passport and he like each in turn. So he's got your passport and he looks at the passport and he's looking at us and he's mean mugging. So he does Wayne first and he's like, okay, you, what's your citizenship? And he's staring at it, looking at him, and he goes, Canadian. And then he goes, Mike. I'm like, that's me. And he's like, citizenship, Canadian. And then he goes, Carly. And and Carly's like, I'm back here. And he looks at her passport and goes, citizenship. And Carly goes, Carly. And we all of us, the border guard, all three of us in the van start busting a gut. Like immediately she yelled her name instead of saying her, he had even said Carly, and we had literally gone through the process. She had watched the process with the two of us first, and then she just went Carly. So the border guard started laughing and immediately relaxed. The tone of the whole thing shifted. She was so nervous. She had probably picked up on my, like, I hope we don't get hosed to the border because then the trip's over. So she's trying really hard to do a good job. And instead, she looks like she's special needs. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, bless your heart, which is what they say in the States when your brain don't work. So basically, at that point, it's funny because we said we were going to a card game event. And the border guard was kind of like, huh? Do you have like something to back this up? And I'm like, well, I got reservations. And I had handed him the phone for the reservations. And then when Carly went, Carly, he just kind of, you could tell he was like, I'm already done. He looked at my phone perfunctorily, handed me the phone and was like, just head on in. Go ahead. You're good. So to get to Colombia, it was like, I'm going to say 16 hours of driving, like a crazy amount of driving. And it was actually surprisingly awesome. It's just me, Carly, and Double Strike, and we are cruising through the different states. West Virginia was gorgeous. Just all these amazing, like the scenery, honestly, just massive giganto trees, huge mountains. And on that note, Carly was so excited. She was like, yo, we're going to see mountains. I'm so excited. But Carly wanted to see the mountains you see with the peaks that are covered in snow. And West Virginia has towering mountains, but they're more rounded and they're covered in all these giant trees. So she's just getting annoyed. She's just like, where are the mountains? I'm like, those are the mountains. Look at how big they are. And she's like, those are just shitty hills. She was getting worked up about the fact you're just calling them shitty hills. And at one point we drove by and Wayne's like, check it out. Double Strike's like, there's a goat. But it was just like a metal goat outline shoved on the side of one of these hills. So Carly thought she was going to get to see like epic mountains, and she felt ripped off. But honestly, the landscape was gorgeous. We listened to like a bunch of 90s music and stuff, and it was just a jam. We were just singing, having an awesome time. It was genuinely good. What up, Rebecca? What up, True Blue? Hey, Clayton, how's it going? Emmanuel, that's right, Crappy Hills. And I'm literally yelling at her. I'm like, do you want me to make you get out of the car and climb one of these things? Do you know how big they are? They're gigantic. And she's just calling them shitty hills. I'm like, come on now, right? So, like, I kept looking for one that would impress her, but nothing was good enough. Typical woman, right? Oh, it's not exactly what she's looking for. She's got something going on in her head she wants. So we make our way down. We stayed overnight in a hotel that had a breakfast wrapped in, so I got to have a nice breakfast afterwards. Overall, the journey was super chill with essentially no real problems getting down there. So we end up arriving in Columbia, which is a university town with a population roughly the size of the town I live in, like the city, I should say, right? So it's very similar. It's very similar to where I'm from. So we get in, and everything's going smooth. Managed to text Joe, right? Joe was the one, and I saw him in here. I saw Mr. Sweet Tea in here. So we meet up, and immediately I'm given a box that feels like it's empty. I don't know if this is a prank or whatever. I don't know when I'm supposed to open it. I don't know how many people we're waiting for. I'm just standing out front of the steakhouse waiting for this whole thing to start. So we go into the steakhouse, and there's like these are members of the team for Wonders of the First, in case you didn't know. I might leave out some details or whatever, right? So inside this box was a scroll. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know when I should open it. So I'm just holding this box, carrying it with me, going, this feels like it's empty. Like, is this just going to be a troll? Like, is going to be a note in here saying, like, don't say anything, but we're going to rob you. Welcome to America. We're going to butt blast you with 15 magnums. You know what I have no... By the way, didn't see a gun the entire trip. People want to ask, like, everybody's Yosemite Sam just blast a Waston, but none of that. None of that. So when I open up the box, we're sitting there at dinner, and it's like, you should open up that box. So, like, everybody's staring at me. I don't know anybody yet, right? Really. I have talked to, who was it? I had talked to Tinsman, Joe, and Kelly. Kelly's great, by the way. I talked to 3 of them in the original call where we were hashing out the details and getting things started, right? And then that was it. So I had just met all these other people. So they give me this box and like nobody really knows what's in it. And they want me to open it up. So I open it up and there's this cool scroll that's actually based on the lore of Wonders. So I get this and I just like, oh cool, a scroll. And like everybody's staring at me. And I'm just sitting there. Look at how long this is, okay? I want you to imagine you're in a fucking fancy steak restaurant with a bunch of people you don't know, and they're just staring at you, waiting to see your reaction, and you're trying to read the... Like, the text on this isn't very big. The light in the steakhouse is pretty low, and everybody's fucking staring at me. Like, I gotta read all this right here. And, like, my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. At some point, I'm gonna need glasses. So in the low light, I'm like squinching, trying to read this, and then I'm looking up at everybody expectantly looking at me, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm new to this game. I don't know their lore. This is like, I got to see this lore before anybody else. This is a historical artifact from that game. But, like, I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on. There's a quill that possesses people and magical powers. There's a prisoner and some dragon or something guarding her. It was this whole big thing. But yeah. Hobo. Wait a minute. Hobo Hunter says you're basically a zoo animal. Say, Hobo Hunter. That's a suspect name. That's gonna come up later on. Hobo Hunter. I think I know who that is. So yeah, I think it's cool that they gave me this. Like, don't get me wrong. I love lore, but I have no context for this, and I'm like an animal under glass. You know what I mean? Like, all these people are staring at me. And I'm used to getting attention, but it's usually for being entertaining. And I'm just sitting there like, is there going to be a test on this? Like, I'm thinking all this while I'm trying to read this too. What up, Doomblade? So, yeah, ultimately, I mean, this genuinely, I got access to this lore before anybody else. So, if this game takes off and becomes a thing, this is an item. Like, this is genuinely a collector item. Scroll Keeper, run up. Yeah, you got a good name. Love some scrolls, but that's a lot of text. So imagine reading this while all these people, like, I've been at events before. People want their games to succeed, and they're just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. They're just putting it on you. So I've got this, and I'm sitting there like, okay, I read it all. Cool. Thanks for the scroll. Cool. It's cool. Thanks for the lore. Like, I don't know. Yeah, Joe bugged me to open it because he was afraid I'd leave the box under the table after dinner was over. Let me explain something to you, bro. I don't leave any presents behind. I don't leave nothing behind. So I made sure to store it inside this box, right? I made sure to protect it inside this box so that it wouldn't take any damage because I recognized Kelly was so excited to get this to me. That's what I was told. So there's multiple layers of pressure with this stuff. But anyways, I get through the scroll, and then we have an awesome dinner. And everybody's chill. We're just cracking jokes, having a good time. So the first night, getting settled in was nice. We had that dinner. We were there for a few hours talking about different stuff. And then we went our separate ways. You know, we went back to the hotel. And speaking of the hotel, I got to give Kelly extra credit. So when we originally talked about this, basically I was saying, hey, okay, so I'm going to need you guys to help me with a couple of things. Obviously, one of them is going to be accommodations. So they said, okay, we'll get a room for you and Carly, and we'll also get a room for your buddy Double Strike on his own. What up, Peterson? So when we got there, got settled into our rooms, and I noticed there was a difference between our room and Double Strike's room. And I was trying to figure out what it was because the reservations looked the same, right? But what it was is I had said they were like going to fly me in. But I said, okay, I don't want to leave Carly alone for that long. And Carly can't really fly. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to drive in. And because of Carly's disabilities, I don't want to leave her alone. And I didn't go over long about that. I mentioned it almost as like an offhand note. But Callie apparently clocked that, and she made sure to get a room that was specifically for people with disabilities. So it had like a walk-in shower and a seat you could sit on. There was multiple things about it that changed the nature of the room to make it like accessible for disabled people, which is something the States isn't really good at, apparently. Like everywhere in Canada, they have buttons you can press to open doors, right? Not here. I needed to be open doors for Carly a lot because it's a little bit weird that way. But either way, props for getting us that. The attention to detail was very much appreciated, right? So that was Friday. And I want you to understand as well, they were like, yo, we will hook you up to come down here, and here's what we're asking you to do. Check out our game. That's it. I have had companies go, we want you to work with us. We insist you only say positive things about us. I've seen some absolutely egregious contracts that I absolutely refused. But with these guys, basically, there was no contract. We had some back and forth, and they were like, okay, look, the only thing we don't want is for you to be coming down here, and then they didn't use these words, but it's basically, you're just going to shit all over our game. And I said, I don't operate in bad faith. I'm not coming down to hose you guys. I was literally coming down to meet Tinsman. I didn't say specifically like that 100%, but I did strongly allude to the fact that Tinsman was the biggest draw, right? I mean, I guess I outright stated that in some ways. Anyways, the point is, they made no requirements on me. They were like, you don't have to make videos. You don't have to live stream. You don't have to do anything. In fact, you don't even have to come and hang out with us, right? Like, ultimately, you can just do whatever you want. You're going to go to the zoo. You're going to do whatever it is you want to do. You can just go and do that. And it was so wide open in that regard. Like, massive respect for not trying to hedge me in, right? Obviously putting me on the spot with this stuff. There was a couple moments where I felt like a certain level of intensity. Doomblade, yeah, I did see that, bro. I definitely did. So ultimately, what's going down is we go out for the first day, we go out for dinner, and that was it. That was just a meeting, a chunk of the team, and having a nice time. I got a cool picture with everybody because right away I was like, oh, these people are chill. This should be just fine. I haven't met everybody, and I haven't seen the game yet, but so far so good. So Thursday the plan was to go to the zoo with Carly, and then I was going to meet up. It was funny. Joe messaged me and was just like, okay, we're going to be having dinner tonight, and you're welcome to come with us if you want. You want to do your own thing? That's cool. It's totally up to you. And I told him I was going to come, but apparently he didn't catch that. So later on he said the same thing, and I'm like, I'm fucking coming. I said I was coming, right? So anyways, Carly goes to the zoo because I was too wiped out. I was originally planning to go with her, but the lack of sleep and everything made that a no-go. So I was like, all right, we're going to get together for dinner on Thursday night. And then, was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday. Some of the stuff runs together. So on Thursday night, we end up going to their party house, which is like a Airbnb with arcade machines and mini putt in the backyard and everything. So before that, actually, sorry, when we went to dinner, that's when I met Jeff, who is the guy who's like the founder of the game. Now, he yelled at me from the parking lot. I didn't know who the fuck he was, because I don't know any of the team members. I just thought he was another dude, right? He definitely didn't come across as like I'm the guy in charge. Sometimes people who are in charge of companies are very full of themselves, right? And it can be a bit much. But I had no idea. I just knew that this guy knew who I was. He's being friendly right up until the handshake where he tried to crush my hand with his gigantic gorilla fist, right? So he's literally like shaking my hand and I'm like, the fuck you trying to do? Break my bones, right? Like those kind of handshakes. I hassled him the whole night about that. I called him hand crusher. I kept going back to it, right? So this is the guy who owns everything. He owns all of it. But he's so unassuming and chill that at a certain point, when I said he was the guy in charge, he's like, no, it's not me. And then he pointed at Fancy Nancy. And you can't say her name wrong. You can't say Nancy the Destroyer. You can't say Nan Brad. You can't say any of that. Or she will take you outside and beat you with a belt. That's what they told me, which is really unfair to her because she's super chill. But they made her seem like she was going to be a manic. Yeah, my bones literally hurt. I felt his handshake like for however much longer afterwards. I was like, come on, bro. Come on. So we sat down for dinner. And then while we're having dinner, guys, I was like, what's sweet tea? Because they had ordered sweet tea. I was like, is sweet tea just iced tea with a bunch of sugar in it? And Joe, obviously knowing what's up, goes, no, man, sweet tea tastes like Kool-Aid. And I was like, no, it doesn't. And he's like, yes, it does taste like Kool-Aid. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll order some sweet tea. So I ordered some sweet tea thinking it would taste like Kool-Aid. Guess what it tasted like, guys? Iced tea with a bunch of sugar in it. I took one sip of it and I was like, fuck you, Joe. For real. Are you kidding me? This tastes like Kool-Aid to you? What happened? What happened? Did you end up like burning your taste buds and your nose hairs so you can't taste anything properly? Because sweet tea, it's just iced tea. It's just iced tea. Andrew, new catchphrase, my stones hurt. There you go. You a stone seeker? I got two for you right here. You know what I'm saying? Baron, I don't know if I actually specifically said my bones hurt, you know? Jess, I feel you on that, buddy. You got to do things the way that feel best to you, right? So ultimately, the dinner was cool. And then after that, even though I was barely able to use my hand, we went back to the happy house, whatever you want to call it, to actually check out the game. Now, this was, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much the first time with the actual product. So they had some sealed starter decks for me, and this was great. Actually, on that note, I said, yo, I want you guys to hook up Double Strike with a bunch of, well, not a bunch, some of my stuff, right? I'm like, take some of the stuff you're going to give me and give it to him. That's what I would like to have happen. So I had him hooked up. He cracked a starter deck. I cracked a starter deck. Carly cracked a starter deck. And we sat down and we started to play the game, right? And about halfway through the game, because this is the real moment. This is the real moment. Are we dealing with complete garbage? Because sometimes someone will show you a new game and you're just like, oh man, I don't want to be rude, but this is dog shit and I don't want to mess with this. Like, I'm glad you tried. You tried, but you failed. The reality is, though, Wonders of the First is actually a genuine game. I played it with Carly and was like, oh, wait, this is actually like a real game with strategy and a back and forth. This isn't just some empty crap. Because up until that point, I was just like, these guys are giving me some nice dinners. People seem chill. But here's the moment. And again, this is another like bug under glass moment where they're all standing around me. Remember, this is America where everybody has 80 guns. And I'm just like, oh, what's going to happen here? I hope that I like the game. I mean, there was an annoying moment where Capricorn, where Downs knocked over his not Carly's tea. He knocked over Carly's tea right on the playmats we were playing on. And I was annoyed because I had planned to take those playmats. I was like, yo, I'm going to take these playmats to play with the game later. And then he spills tea on him. And I'm just like, really, bro? Really? Like, in my head, I got an annoyed look on my face that was there for a second. Double Strike clocked it, but I don't think anybody else did. Anyways, so we play our first game. We have a good back and forth with Carly. I had fun. And I was like, oh, this is actually an actual full-on game. Because up until this point, it could have been anything. It could have been anything. It could have just been like, okay, so we do this. Okay, the game's over. Who cares? I don't feel anything about it at all. at all. So we played that first night, and that was it. We played a bit. I was like, okay, cool, because it was late. It was late. So we played the game. I'm like, yep, this has potential. So then the next night, Friday night, is like the meet and greet where this is when all the people are coming in. They had me come down early so I could meet with the team. I could learn the game, right? I had played one game at this point, so I could learn the game. And then came down for Friday night where, again, they had more food, which was dope. And then they had a bunch of people who were the Kickstarter backers for this game. Because originally, this event was just supposed to be Kickstarter backers. And that's it. And me getting roped into all this, I talked about some of my people maybe coming down and checking it out. And they're like, okay, we will find some product for people who are coming down and we'll create an on-arrival Stone Seeker package, which was really cool of them. They were super accommodating. So Friday night was the breaking, right? Basically where you, oh yeah, you know what, sorry, on top of the starter decks, they also had some of these pre-release kits for me. And Tinsman's son was there, and he like grabbed one to open it. And he's like, no, that's for Hatcher. These are mine. These are mine. And so after I played the first game, I'm like, yeah, these are mine. I opened some packs up after we played the game, looked at the cards, looked at some of the abilities because I now had a frame of reference, and I'm like, yo, this seems dumb. Yo, this seems cool. And I got some sweet cards. I was like, all right, this is cool. This is cool. And Double Strike opened some as well that he liked. And we just basically cracked some cards and had a good time. And then on Friday, we go to the breaking, which is essentially a booster cracking competition, right? Where you get your boosters and you open them up trying to get an OCM. And Baba was there at this point. So Baba came down. He came down to the event where they had an open bar. You could have all the drinks that you want. I met him, and you never know what somebody's going to be like. Baba's cool. So I was like, all right, sweet. This dude's cool. That's going to be cool. So we start to do the breaking stuff. And the idea is you crack the booster packs and you're looking for a numbered foil. Okay. So they have special OCMs, which are orbital color matches is the name, but you don't really need to know that specifically. So we're looking for the numbered cards. And it goes like this. If you open a numbered card, then you move on to the next stage. So boom, you hit the numbered card. You have now one in your group. And then they give you extra packs. And they give you a special little box topper pack as well. You open those up. And then if you crack, like out of that, basically, it's like an elimination round. So you end up with 6 people out of the first round who have one of these numbered cards. And then out of those 6 people, there will be one people. We are one people. There'll be one person who gets a numbered card. So they gave me a booster box's worth of cards. And then Joe was like, what about Carly? And I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Give me the packs for her too. So I'm sitting there with 2 boxes worth of cards going, hell yeah, because me and Carly are just going to share the stuff anyways. So the more the merrier. You know what I mean? And ultimately as well, my brain is like, Carly doesn't care that much about card games. She had fun a bit playing the game with me, but she said that about other games and not cared. So I was literally just in my head like, ching ching. I got twice as much stuff out the gates. So I take Carly her box. I've got mine. And then Double Strike also has his box. And we're sitting there cracking cards. And I go through my whole box. Nothing. No OCM. It's like, okay. Carly goes through her box. Bam. She gets an OCM. So she's in the next round. And she got a card that she really liked. She's like, oh, this is cool. I like this. So she got herself a shiny, shiny foil with this number on it that gets her into the next round. And then a little bit later down the table, Double Strike also cracks an OCM. So I'm just sitting there like, I'm the one they brought down there. You guys are getting the cool cards, and I got a bunch of cards, but you know, like not on a big level, but on a little level, I'm just like, should have been me. I should have given Carly the other box, not me, whatever, you know, like. So Carly and Double Strike are both given the extra packs. And then we're waiting to see, because other people have gone, I got it. And then there's only 5 people in there. And so we keep waiting and waiting and waiting for number 6. But number 6 just isn't there. Maybe they left, whatever it was. There was no number 6. So Ramal, who's the guy in charge of this part of it, just is looking at the packs and he looks at me. He's like, here you go. You can go into the next round. And I'm like, oh, cool. Sweet. Back in the game, baby. So I cracked my packs. No OCM. I'm out. Carly cracks her packs. No OCM. She's out. And it's like, okay. Double Strike cracks his packs. He gets an OCM, and it's a limited 1 out of 10 card. So the one Carly got was out of like 90 something. He got a 1 out of 10 card. And it's just like, good for you. Yeah, you did it. Should have been me. You know, it's one of those. Doomblades. Membership message says, Hatches that one kid at a birthday party that wishes he got presents but only got cake. No, the thing is, I got the same thing everybody else got. For real. It was told like, it was just that low level. I'm sure we all have it where you're like, man, I wish it was me. So Double Strike gets to go into the next round where you automatically get a foil quill. Okay. And the quill in this game is busted. It is a busted desirable card. It is a very high level card. And now he's got a special foil one that comes out of a very special booster box. That's like, it's just this next level thing. So I was happy for him. Don't get me wrong, right? When I'm like, should have been me. I was also like, yeah, my buddy got this. That's cool. And I was happy for him. So he ends up going into the next level event. And then he didn't win it, but somebody else won it. But he got like a playmat and cool promos and stuff. So we're already sitting here being given a bunch of packs. And I had enjoyed, that's like, if I didn't care about the game, really, I would have just cracked the packs as part of the game and just been like, who cares? Okay, I didn't move on. It's just less garbage I need to throw away later, or throw on the shelf or whatever, right? If I was just like, this game's garbo, who cares, right? So basically, this is what's going on for the rest of the night. People cracking boxes. We're hanging around waiting for Double Strike to get into the final event because the final event wasn't going to happen until multiple different rounds of this breaking stuff going down. So in the meantime, I'm just going around meeting new people, chatting, having a good time. But I clocked piles of cards on a table. I was like, there's a bunch of piles of cards over there on that table. And I played card games for long enough to know what looks like abandoned piles of cards. But I'm not going to take anything that doesn't belong to me because this is, I mean, bro, this is the first night. People are cracking all this stuff. Obviously, they want their cards, right? But time goes by. Those piles, they're just sitting on the table. They're just sitting on the table. So after a while, I go and I put them in a box, just leaving them there. Whoever it is going to come back. But then they're closing down. We're done for the night. That box is still there. I'm like, okay, whoever stuff this is doesn't care about it. And I start to flip through the cards real quick and I notice there's no foils. So some maniac just took all the foils, like got these packs, just took the foils and then left because the rest of the cards didn't matter to him. Now, I think that might boil down to the fact that the people who came to this event are it's a mix. There are card game players, but there are also people who come from like the sports card world. Hey, what's up, Habanero? How you doing, buddy? So basically, you've got like people who are baseball card collectors who are part of this. And to them, only foils matter. In fact, they derogatorily refer to regular cards as paper cards. You know how we go foil, non-foil cards? They just call them paper, like they're garbage. And I was told that with like baseball cards and stuff, apparently the only thing that matters in a pack is your super duper foily whatever, and everything else garbage. And you can just go into like sports card stores and they will have boxes and boxes of cards that kids can just dig through and take whatever they want. So I guess it would be like everything that's not foil to some people is the equivalent of bulk commons you already have 4 of, if you want to put it in Magic's terms, right? So this guy just leaves this box of cards, and I'm just like, oh, these are mine. These are mine. Like, I enjoyed playing the game enough that I'm like, yep, I want more cards. I'll take this box. So I take it back up to the hotel room, and I just throw it down there, and then I go and do some other stuff. But later on, I come back to use the washroom, and that box of cards is sitting there, and I'm like, I'm just going to grab a pile. I'm just going to grab a pile and go through it. And I looked and I'm like, bro, there's an epic rare here. What the fuck? And then I started looking. I'm like, rare, epic rare. Like, there's commons and uncommons, but there's rares. There's epic rares. And I start to find mythics and stuff. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I stumble on this. There's literally a fucking quill in there. There's literally a phoenix quill sitting. This is a fucking insane mythic. This thing is busted. You have to understand the game. You have to understand the game to know how broken this is, but this is a busted ass card. Like when I saw Wayne got one, I was like, let me read it. And as soon as he read it, as soon as I read it, I was like, this is bullshit. This card's so broken. I'm like, I want a quill, damn it. You know what I mean? I just went through this and I'm like, there's a fucking quill in here. And multiple people on the team, including Jeff, the guy who owns the company, was just like, wait, somebody's left the quill there? Like every single foil stripped out of the box, but everything else tossed aside like it was junk. And I'm just like, there were about 30 to 40 rares and mythics and stuff. It might have been 2 booster boxes worth of stuff that this just guy abandoned. And I went, ching, ching, baby, right? Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So yeah, I got my own quill. I got a pile of other cards. So when we left to go on this trip, right? My buddy Double Strike said to me, he said, yo, here's how it's going to go. I told him they're going to hook you up with some stuff out of the stuff they're going to give me. And he said, when we're done, I'm just going to give it back to you. Now, he likes playing games. So he was of the mind, I'm not going to want this stuff. Who cares kind of thing, right? That was before we played. So now we've already played the game, right? And he's got this whole booster box worth of cards, the extra packs, the special quill, and we're walking out of there. And all of a sudden his tone's changed. He ain't giving me back these cards. He's already forgotten he even said that. Now he's saying, yo, I can actually build multiple decks for this. For my other friends at home, like when we go back, my play group, I can hook them up with stuff too and build multiple decks for them. So he went from, I'm just going to dump this on you to, this mine. And I was just like, I mean, obviously internally, I was like, guess I ain't getting that quill or nothing. It's all his, you know, like, but that's fine. I was happy that he switched gears and was like, yeah, let's go. Let's do this. You know what I mean? So then Saturday, you recall none of this. I remember you said it. You said it. So Saturday rolls around and they're doing a pre-release, okay? And this was adorable because these fucking people were clueless. Like, clueless. If you had shown me on paper what they planned to do, I would have started laughing. I would have been like, oh, this is a recipe for disaster. Are you out of your fucking minds? Like, are you for real right now? This is what happens when you have no experience running events like this. I've run a shitload of pre-releases and a crazy amount of Magic tournaments. So I know what you need to know when it comes to running card events. So where's that one box? It's over here. Okay, so here's how it goes. You come to the event and they give you one of these boxes. Inside is 6 booster packs and you're going to build your deck out of that. So they're all sealed in plastic wrap. And what happened tweaked me. Like, I almost yelled at the guy on the spot. So you go up to get your deck. These are wrapped in, well, I got one wrapped like this. Okay, so here's one still sealed. So this is what they look like. Now, what do you think happens? Do you think A, they hand me the box like this and go, have a good time? Do you think B, they decide, oh, you know what, the plastic's a little hard to rip, so why don't I make a little tear in it for you with this X-Acto knife? Or do you think C, I'm going to take a fucking X-Acto knife and carve this fucking box like a hog? Well, if you picked C, that's what they did. This motherfucker takes an X-Acto blade and just, and in my head I'm screaming, what the fuck are you doing? Like, for real, are you out of your fucking mind? Are you high right now? Why on earth why on earth would you fucking cut my box like that? And they did that to everybody, to fucking everybody. And I'm just like I literally went over to Tinsman and I said, yo, Tinsman, bro, they are fucking slashing into the boxes. Look at what they fucking did to my box. Why are they doing this? And I'm telling him all this stuff, and he's kind of smiling at me. Now, I didn't know this at the time. He told me later. But Tinsman is on the spectrum, so he will react differently to things than you might anticipate. So he just listened to me and promptly did nothing. He promptly did nothing about it. I'm thinking he's going to go up to the front and tell them, yo, don't fucking cut the boxes. Are you fucking out of your mind? I'm trying to explain. This is the first event you've ever had. This is the first event you've ever fucking had. This is a memento. Imagine you go somewhere and they take a fucking photo and then just start scratching your eyes out on it. What are you doing? What are you fucking doing? So I was tweaking. Like, I hadn't had that much sleep. And I'm sitting there just ranting at Double Strike going, Tinsman didn't go and fucking say anything. They're fucking doing it. They're cutting people's boxes. Capricorn got to them in time. So guess what? His fucking box, you know what they did? They just cut right here. They just cut right here. So it didn't damage the box and you could get through the plastic. And nobody could give me a reasonable answer as to why they did that. I was like, why? Loco, so you have proof it's the box from the pre-release? Hello, dipshit. Boop, boop. Guess what? I can make a pre-release box right now. You think that a fucking cut box is any indicator? Any indicator at all? You fucking clownish idiot. Whoa, nobody can fucking emulate that. Where would you ever get a knife in America? Right? So, yeah, I can't believe you teach the fucking youth. I can't believe you teach kids fucking 6'7" Huss. All right? It's an American knife. I was in America, idiot. Any knife I got would be an American knife, you dumb fuck. So yeah, no. Like, you don't fucking destroy people's pre-release kits. I'm at the very first shattering ever. And then they shatter your box and they shatter your hopes. So I'm ranting at Double Strike. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm here to cover this event. I'm going to get up and I'm going to ask other people what they think. So I made the rounds. And I asked people. Some people didn't care. Some people were just like, yeah, whatever. I was just going to throw the box out anyway. Some people thought I actually worked for the company. So they didn't want to say anything negative at first, right? Because I was just walking up to people going, quick question. Got some info I want to get from you guys. So did you have a problem with them cutting your box? And multiple people said, nah, I'm just going to throw it out anyways, right? Who cares? But multiple people either said, yeah, no, I didn't like that. Or they did this, like they didn't want to say anything. I'm like, tell me the truth. Are you happy about that? Or did it bother you? And I'm like, yeah, it bothered me. And the answer is, you don't do that shit. If you have people who don't care, and you have people who do care, if you don't do it, nobody's unhappy. But for real, they fucking destroyed the boxes. So that tweaked me out. I was just like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Right? Obviously not the biggest deal in the world. Let's be very real. But at the same time, this is the first time on earth that you are putting your product into the hands of your most dedicated fans. The ones who backed you on Kickstarter. The ones who traveled all the fucking way here. The ones who got hotel rooms. Like, these are your gems. This is your core. Don't piss in the Kool-Aid, son. And don't tell me the fucking sweet tea is Kool-Aid, Joe. So I went around. Yeah, of course it would tweak you 10-4. I thought about somebody doing that at a pre-release. I'm like, imagine I did that to somebody's pre-release kit. I just went, there you go, dickhead. What? What is going on? So that aside, we actually started the event. And it's funny because I've only played one game, but I got a ton of fucking rules knowledge for Magic. There's an easy 1-to-1 for a lot of the rules. So I just go, all right, I have a grasp on most of this. And I was answering rules questions for people around me. They thought I had way more experience than I did because I had only played one game, right? So either way, I'm helping people answer their questions. I'm having a good time playing with it, mucking about, and it was fun. Actually had a really good time with the pre-release event. Had some awesome synergy between a couple of different cards in my deck. Now, if you haven't played the game, you don't know anything about it. But basically, this game's mana is based on whatever turn of the game it is. So you flow through 7 turns, and you might think that 7 turns can go quickly. But let me tell you, as somebody who wanted to go to the fucking market, guess what? The games don't go quickly. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I forgot about the other hilarious thing that tweaked me out. So guys, imagine going to a pre-release, a Magic the Gathering, where you've been playing Magic for a while, right? Imagine they told you only had half an hour to build your deck and sleeve your deck. Now imagine nobody had ever played Magic, really, at all. And you're at an event now, and they tell you have 30 fucking minutes to build your deck. 30 minutes to build and sleeve your deck. 30 minutes! I just started laughing. I was like, you're out of your fucking minds. You're out of your minds. They came by at the 25-minute mark, and me and Double Strike, who have tons of experience building decks and getting stuff together, were rushing to get stuff done. And I just went, you can't do this. You can't do this. This isn't enough time. This is not a fucking enough time. And they added on 10 more minutes. But the problem was they had scheduled things very tightly, which was a huge fucking mistake. A huge mistake that came back to bite them in the ass. They didn't want Jeff to be upset, so they're trying to get everything done. But holy shit, you can't give people just half an hour for a fucking pre-release event when they already know how to play your game and know what they're doing. You need at least 45 to 50 minutes. So there was a significant reduction in that amount of time. 50 minutes versus 30 minutes is ridiculous. Like it's genuinely ridiculous. Why is Jeff catching strays? Well, maybe if you didn't make the fancy little fucking chart that they needed to use, and they were so like, we gotta use this bracket thing that he made. Fucking don't worry about Jeff's stupid bracket chart, you fucks. Worry about running your event for the people who paid you all this fucking money. They paid you all this Kickstarter shit, and this event's like 50 fucking US ball blasting dollars, boys. 50 ball blasting dollars. We're gonna cut this like your mother's butt cheeks on a Saturday night. Like she's upset her pimp. And then you've got 30 fucking minutes. And then it's like, they didn't like wait and go, okay, is everybody sat down? Does everyone have their decks ready? Okay, go. They had already started the timer. I didn't even know it had fucking started. And you got 30 minutes. It was crackheaded. So I have basically a sweet combo going on in my deck where in the game you've got like 7 lanes. Where are the mats? Oh wait, here's a paper one. So you've got like 7 different lanes. 7 different lanes in the mat. All right, right here. You got 7 different lanes. So when you start out, you got just this one area you're dealing with. And you get 1 energy. Energy is like the equal to mana. And then as you go along, it's really simple. 2, 3, 4, whatever turn you're on in the game, that's how much mana you're getting, right? Plus, as you've captured stones, because you're trying to capture 7 different stones. I got some right here. I'm gonna give you a little fancy jewel bags. So they had all that set up on the table, which was quite nice, actually. Had those, like, ultimately, they did a good job overall, and I felt like they were pretty stressed out. And part of me felt bad about yelling at them and telling them what I didn't yell at them too much. You know what I mean? You can ask Double Strike. I didn't go too hard on them, right? Ultimately. But I was kind of annoyed. Anyways, so you've got all these things. So you've got your 7 lanes, you get up to 7 energy, plus however many stones you have. But I had a dude who counts as a stone. So he just gives you an extra mana each turn. And then I had another guy who copies that guy who's a stone and gives an opponent's guy permanent -3/-3, which felt fucking amazing. So there was some points where I had like 14 energy and it was like, let's go, right? Like that was awesome. It's true, Double Strike had to listen to all my ranting for real. Like I tried not to be too dickish to the guys running the event, but then I was like, can you fucking believe this shit, man? They're giving us this amount of, like I was tweaking. I'm like, this is your first event. Try and set a better example. All right. So if you guys don't know, the guy who owns the company, he hunts homeless people in his spare time. He's known as the Hobo Hunter. You can see him here in this chat. He goes to a private island that's a human reserve, like in that one fucking Predator movie, and he hunts homeless people with Bo Jackson, that sports guy. Like he rubbed it in my face. He's like, did you know that I know Bo Jackson? and like I'm like doing really good in life and you fucking suck. Like that's a direct quote from the dude. Honestly, he said that to me at a dinner. Can you believe that shit? Have you guys seen I Think You Should Leave? Because coffin flops, you know what I'm saying? Wait, Carly's saying what about me? What's going on? Carly's not talking smack about me. She ain't talking smack about me. That ain't happening. I'm looking. I don't see it. I don't see it. So anyways, hand-crushing hobo hunter has got his crew terrified of him to the point where the event's going just fine, right? And I want to go to the market, which is right outside the hotel room. Carly's been excited about this market. She looked it up before we went. When we got to the hotel, there's this awesome dude there named Christian who told us all kinds of cool stuff, told us about this market. Carly's hyped to go to the market. I'm like, okay, cool. I want to go to the market. But every round was going to fucking time. Every round was going to time. And they were just like, okay, the round's over. Shut up, stop. It's like, okay. Now the next round started. Holy shit, okay. And then on the website, they had a lunch scheduled for an hour. And then the one guy, I think it was Jacob or something, said, there's not going to be a lunch. And I was like, motherfucker, you can't do that. You don't get to do that. No. You put it on the fucking website. You told everybody here they get a lunch. You told everybody they get a lunch. You don't get to fucking tell us we don't have lunch. You want a fucking cranky riot on your hands? We don't get a lunch. Fuck you. You put it on the website. We get a lunch. That's how it goes. Like, I think they were going to try and give us no lunch. They tried that shit on Saturday too. No, Sunday. They tried that shit on Sunday too. Fucking don't put you're having a lunch on your fucking website and then say, sorry, bitch, you can't have lunch. You can't fucking do that. You can't fucking tell people they're going to get to have a lunch and then tell them, oops, no lunch. You just got to power through because we don't have any fucking time management skills and our boss made a stupid bracket chart. So suck it up, dildo. You just got to keep playing. Fuck you. Like, it was hilarious to me that they thought, and like when they finally basically gave in and were like, okay, there'll be a lunch. You're goddamn right there'll be a lunch. And they're like, but you guys got to come back early, okay? And it's like, nobody's going to come back early. You'll be lucky if they don't come back late. Also, you know what? Now that I think about it, they tried to fuck my boy Baba too. He drove 8 hours. He drove 8 hours to get to this event. Fisher Super Chat says, hand-crushing hobo hunter sounds like a D&D mini-boss. It sounds like the name of a card that needs to exist in this game. Hand-crushing hobo hunter needs to be in Wonders of the First, or we're basically going to expose this grift for what it is. You know what I'm saying? All right, Fisher, you're lord of the board. You can lord it over everybody. All right? Nicely done. Nicely done. Thanks for the super chat. So, my boy Baba drives 8 fucking hours to come to this event, and the slots for this event were all taken. So he was just like, so can I get into this thing? And he asked at the front, he's like, can I get into this event? And they said, if somebody doesn't show up and we have an extra box, yes, you can get into the event. So they finish the check-in, immediately start the event. The timer's only clicked down by 30 seconds, and Baba basically goes up and is like, can I get a box? And they tell him to pound sand. They tell him to get fucked. They tell him to get fucked, bro. Like, they didn't say get fucked, but they told him to get fucked, right? Like, they didn't use that language, but like, no, you can't be in the event. You fucking told him to wait. You told him to wait until everybody was fucking done and registered, then immediately started the event and said he couldn't get in it because the event had started. It's like dystopian insanity. Oh, speaking of dystopian insanity, Loco coming in with the super chat. So Baba is super chill. He comes and sits down with me, and I'm just like, what's up, buddy? Are you not? I thought you were going to play. And then he's just like, no, they said they started and I can't. And I turn around and look, and I see that there's a box, like an unopened box sitting up there. I'm like, what? No, fuck that. Fuck that. So I said to Joe, I'm like, Joe, what the fuck? Because he was walking by. I'm like, Baba asked you guys if he could play in this event. You guys told him to wait. You told him to wait. And then when he did, and he came back, you started the event and told him that he couldn't play. When this is the deck construction. This is the deck construction. So all he's losing is one of the fucking 30 minutes you've given us, which is actually a significant amount of time. But either way, he's just a minute down on deck building. Like Baba was like, no, don't make a deal. And I was like, fuck that. So then when Joe heard that, he's like, okay, all right, hold on. I'll get him into the event. And I'm like, thank you. You know, because it was just like, get out of here. Get out of here. You can't do that to him. He drove 8 hours to come here because of me. And if you think I'm not going to help my people, you're out of your fucking mind, right? And so, like, ultimately, the event was fun. We all had a fun time. Everybody was chill. It was great. I really enjoyed myself. I genuinely... Oh, Loco! That's your first super chat anywhere on YouTube. That means I own you now. You're my property. You're my sweet little baby. That was your super cherry, bro. You're under my wing. Let Big Papa Mike take care of you. Let Big Daddy Hatch show you what's up, right? Fucking 6'7". That's some fucking Sigma Omega fucking shit right there. Hus Riz, bro. So, Loco's fun shit. I had fun talking to him on Sunday. So ultimately, the event was a lot of fun. I mean, this was some serious horse shit. You fucking cut in the boxes. And different people tell me different reasons that they did it. So you can't sell it on fucking eBay or whatever else. I'm like, that's a bunch of horse shit. I have no idea whose idea it was to slash these bitches like this, but bonkers. Just a bonkers choice. So, yeah, they're trying to stop us from having lunch, which was ridiculous. And then we went and had garbage. We had garbage Sonics. And we barely made it back in time because, I mean, we didn't know we were going in the city or whatever. That's on us. So we barely make it back in time. Continue through the event. Now, there was supposed to be 4 rounds of Swiss, and then a cut to top 8. But because they didn't fucking budget time properly, they just cut a round off. So everybody who paid to play in this event, just so you know, everybody who paid to play in this event was denied 25% of their playtime in favor of the top 8 so that they could use Hobo Hunter's chart. That's the shit. They're like, Jeff gave us this chart and we got to use it. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, what the fuck are you guys doing? Now, to their credit, nobody complained. Nobody complained at all. And I was fucking tired. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I don't get my 4th round. Nobody else is bitching. I've complained about a lot of stuff already. I'm just going to let it slide. But I kept having these different questions about the event. And every time I went up and asked them, they like basically had to announce it to everybody, right? So it's all, I want to be very clear. I really like the people who make this game. They're cool. They're my friends, right? Wait. Jeff, you don't know about the brackets chop tart? But Joe said this was really important to you, and you don't even know what it is. We lost a fucking round for something that you didn't even give a shit about. I guess it must be fucking great fucking tugging off thinking about how you're going to go hunt hobos with fucking Bo Jackson later and us fucking peons just trying to play this game that costs $50 fucking a shot. You're just like, I don't even know what he's talking about. What the fuck, Joe? Okay. Anyways, where was I? So the event, you have no clue, like a bracket. Yeah, brackets. He said that he made a bracket chart. Oh, look at, it's like we're the fucking NBA. Dick lickers playing against knob toucher. Oh, who's going to win? Write your name in. Yeah, we shouldn't have a lunch or anything like that, so you can make sure you use this little fucking dipshit chart. Like, they got focused on the wrong things. I got news for you. Priority number 1 in an event like this should be fun of the players. You know how you want to have people playing your fucking game? Maybe you should focus on people having fun playing your fucking game. I know it's a wild, crazy thought, but that should be priority number 1, not using your fucking charts. And anyways, they do the cut the top 8. And everybody's going their separate ways. So Double Strike is like, I gotta go nap, right? Because we've got the actual main shattering thing. Like, where is that? I got it around here somewhere. Piled under some stuff. But we've got the actual... Damn it, I had it. I totally had it. Is that it? No, that's my cool name tag. Yeah, check it out. Check it out. So we got the Shattering, where this is where everybody's finally getting their Kickstarter boxes. This is where crazy dudes with dicks made of pure money are getting mountains of boxes. You could stack them up and they'd be taller than me. Like people getting so much stuff. So we got that going on. That's what's supposed to happen. My buddy Wayne, Double Strike, is like, I'm gonna go take a nap. And it's like, cool, go take a nap. Do your thing, bro. No worries. We'll meet up later. And it turns out when we met up later at the Shattering, he straight up didn't nap. Do you know what he did instead? He sorted all of his Wonders of the First cards. He spent his time sorting all of his cards and building a deck for that night. That's how excited he was. It wasn't it wasn't like you could play while you were there, but it was like people just excitedly cracking their stuff. That's what it's about. You finally got your cards in hand. Crack your boxes. Let's go. There was dudes with crazy sorting trays. Like people came prepared. But Double Strike, remember this. At the beginning, he said, I'm just going to give you back this stuff. Then I'm going to build decks for my friend. Then I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to sort all my cards. Check it out. I built this donkey dumb dick deck where I go ahead and smash your stones with a gorilla. Like he likes to build dumb, off the wall nonsense. So that's what he did, you know? However, obviously you're going to do more better in the future. It's growing pains. It is what it is. I'm a ranter, right? The reality is you guys, under the circumstances, did a very good job, right? The issues that I brought up are ones that can easily be corrected for future events. And I did have a good laugh going, what are you guys doing? This is terrible. So the Shattering was straight fucking fire. The energy was off the charts. Everybody was humming, just fucking cracking boxes, having a good time. Massive excitement, right? They had a whole bunch of food you could eat beforehand. Everybody's cracking their stuff. Everybody's having a good time. I didn't see anybody who was unhappy. And so I know that they're going to hook me up with some stuff. I was told, we're going to hook you up with some stuff. I'm like, cool, I'm going to get one of these bags. We had seen these bags behind the counter when we got there. They had been behind the counter for days. We're waiting. We're going to get one of these bags. It's going to be cool. So I didn't want to be rude. I basically posted up in the one corner. They had a table set up for me and everything. It was awesome. I got to be like, I'm on this side of the table. I'm a cool guy. And I hooked Hobo Hunter up with some Canadian chocolate that I brought. I was like, here you go. We had to make sure it was the kind he could eat because he can't eat bread, which is a hilarious weakness to have, honestly. It's like a superhero. I get to hunt the homeless, but if they ever catch me and make me eat a breadstick, it's curtains. Like, I think that's what they do. I'm pretty sure when they drop the homeless off, they give him a breadstick. But none of them figured out that that's actually his weakness and they have to use it to kill him. They just eat it themselves trying to survive, which they never do, right? Because Bo knows how to take down those hobos. So the Shattering situation goes like this. I don't want to be in the way of anybody who's backed this because I've already had the good fortune of getting to try it on Thursday night, been given all this stuff, and I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop people from getting what they're getting. Thompson, what's up, buddy? You're looking forward to getting some of the Wonders of the First precons? I've seen you over in the Discord, and I got some special news for you. We're talking about doing a very special limited edition window where you can snag some Wonders of the First stuff that you can't find at a Target or anywhere else. We're going to do a live stream where I'm going to be talking to Brian Tinsman, one of Magic's previous lead designers, who's the guy behind this game, the guy who made this game. We're going to be talking to him. I'm going to be talking to him in a live stream. And Tinsman is fucking awesome. I love that guy. In the first round, actually, of this event, there was an issue where I had +1 counters and -1 counters on a creature. And I went to him and said, how does it work? Do you put +1s and -1s on them? Like kind of deal? And he's like, yeah, they both go on. And I'm like, instead of getting canceled out? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, why? And he gives me this long-winded explanation. And I said, because you think it's simpler. And he's like, he paused for a second. Yes. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I told him, I don't think it should be that way. And then each round I played against somebody where there was -1 counters and +1 counters. And guess what they did? Every single time, they just canceled them out. because that's what feels like you, it's just logical. That's what you do, right? So after every round, I went up to Tinsman and I said, yo, guess what happened in this game, buddy? They fucking put the +1s and -1s on them. Guess what happened, right? So he looks at me after like the third time I did this and he's like, look, man, I'm on the spectrum. So I don't know if you're just fucking with me or you're making a genuine suggestion. And that's fair because that's what I do. You guys know I hassle everybody. So I had been hassling him, right? For my own amusement. I'd been saying all kinds of ridiculous shit to him and everybody because that's what I do. So I said to him, like, no, this is a genuine suggestion because I like your game. I think it's worthwhile and I want you to succeed. So I'm telling you right now, he's like, I'll have to write an extra half a page of rules for it. And I'm like, well, you don't have to do that. But just so you know, this is how everybody's playing it. And when I told them what the actual rules are, they looked at me confused and said, that's stupid. So he took the feedback on board. And actually, a couple days later, when I talked to him and asked him, can you send me over the comprehensive rules? He did. And he told me, I've made the change that you suggested. It works the way that you said now in the rules. So I've already helped to make the rules a little smoother for this game. So props to me, baby. But anyways, back to the Shattering event. So Wayne's sitting there with his gorilla deck playing against Baba and other people, having a lot of fun. I am having the time of my life wandering around, meeting all kinds of different people, right? Like just messing with them too. I met the one guy, is it Gabe? I think it's Gabe. And he's the dude in charge. He's doing like a whole comic book series on one of the characters from Wonders. And I have a couple of the comics. What is it right here? So he's got this like comic book line that he's doing. So he gives me his business card. And because I can't help myself, he gives me the business card. And I immediately turn to Ramal and I just go, hey man, did I give you my business card? And I hand him Gabe's business card. And it's just like, I did that with a whole bunch of different people, just messing about with them in different ways, doing my thing, having a great time. So I go back to Carly and she's just like, so are you gonna get stuff to crack or what? So we've got Wayne who was like, I don't want the cards. Who cares? Whatever. 2, these are my cards. Oh my God, I'm not even going to sleep. I'm literally going to build my deck and play this game for hours. He went that full tilt, right? He's just like, yeah, man, I want to teach people to play this game. I want to play this game. I want to play with my friends. And Carly's like, yo, can you get more stuff to crack? Because she spent the entire time we were there at the Shattering. And you got to understand, she's already wearing her braces because of her disability, she can only do so much. And she was already worn out from the trip. But she's sitting there slowly moving the cards across the table because fanning them out it's not really doable for her. So she's slowly moving the cards one by one, going through all this stuff. And she's asking me, you going to get more stuff to crack? I'm like, I got 3 fucking booster boxes open right here. You want more stuff though? Fine, I'll go. And I went and got them to I'm like, so you got stuff for me? And they gave me stuff, boys. They gave me stuff. Not only do I have almost a full set of these, Wayne is the green one, and it turns out green's actually my favorite color in this game. Watch Shock'em Comics. That's it, buddy. That's actually, wait a minute. Yeah, I got the pen. I met the guy who makes the comics. I met his wife. I looked at him. I looked at her. I looked back at him and I said, you must have a lot of money. You must have a lot of money or a big dick. And they both laughed. I also told them that I was going to bootleg their comics and make like editions where it's all just butt cheeks. So I on the Discord later, I was like, so when's the butt cheek edition coming out, bro? When's that going down? Fisher, do I mean Kamigawa Tinsman? Yeah. I mean the guy who invented Annihilator. All of that. That Brian Tinsman, the man who was lead developer on a bunch of different Magic sets. He's the guy who designed this game, is in charge of this game, and all he cares about is the game. So he argues with Jeff about different aspects of it, going, no. We're going to do what's best for the game. Like, this is a game first, basically. I mean, there's the whole weird calling it paper stuff, whatever. We can get into more of that later. But either way, yes, it's that Tinsman. So the dude in here, Midnight or whatever, Diamond, whatever the hell you're calling yourself, he comes up to me at my table and he's just like, basically like, my lady wanted me to come and tell you that you're fedorable in that hat. And I was just like, what? And he's like, yeah, she told me I can't pull off hats like that, but you're fedorable. And I'm just like, does this guy want me to fuck his wife? Or like, are you asking me to bang your lady? Like, I'm not, I mean, she looks good in that dress, right? She's got the proportions, but like, I'm here with my wife, bro. I get it kind of, but I don't know. I don't 100% what's going on. Do you want me to bang your lady? Like, I might do it, but you can't watch, bro. If you're planning to try and be in the closet peeking through and taking pictures of my butt cheek and ball bag, like, that's a no-go. That's not going to happen. So I was like, I don't know exactly what's going on here. Thanks for the compliment about my hat. Appreciate it, but this is a bit weird, right? I guess he's looking for a different kind of shattering. Can you shatter my lady's hips? And I'm like, not tonight, son. Tonight's about the cards, all right? And also, he was taking pictures. He was taking pictures with a bunch of different people. And he's like, can I get a picture with you? And I thought he wanted a picture with me because I was the magic historian. But he didn't even know who the fuck I was. He thought I worked for the company. So he's just like, so what's your position in the company? And I'm like, I don't work for the company. He's like, but you were going around yesterday, like you were going around earlier today at the event asking everybody about the box and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I was gathering information. I want to know people's opinions. Multiple people thought I worked for the company just out of nowhere. And I was, so he took the picture with me. And I want you to understand something. Everybody else he took pictures with were working for the company. He got them to sign the top of the picture and printed them out an extra picture. When he realized that I didn't work for the company, he didn't want me to sign the picture. He didn't want it anymore. He's like, here, you can have this. He just gave me the picture. And I was like, oh, first you want me to fuck your woman, and now you don't even want the picture. So I guess maybe he was trying to get all the members of the team to, I don't know. Anyways, everyone lives their own lives, right? It's all good. He's just out there trying to fix people's spines with plastic. There's some stuff you guys might not get because there's a lot of inside whatever. There's a lot going on. So if something doesn't make sense, just understand that's an inside joke aimed at somebody else, right? So basically, I didn't have time to crack anything. I was too busy running around talking to people. I didn't open any of the stuff. But like I said, they gave me stuff, boys. They gave me stuff, all right? So I got those starter decks. I got these pre-release boxes. I got multiple booster boxes of the regular collector booster box types. I got like starter kit boxes. If I'm not mistaken, these are the ones that will be available at Target. So I don't know 100% when they're supposed to be available, but I think they're supposed to be coming out in Target by the end of the month, right? This somebody who's more in the know can correct me if I'm wrong, but this should be what anybody can pick up in the States at a Target. Jess, you think I dress like a dude about to go to church and then I put the hat on, it looks like he's a rich guy from the 40s? Tell him about me behind the curtain. Oh, so they gave me a Shattering t-shirt and I wanted to try it on, but I didn't just want to like fucking pull out the sweet body in front of everybody. Not with fucking Midnight over there trying to be like pushing on my butt and getting with his lady. So, and the other people too, right? I don't want to make people too uncomfortable with this glory right here. So I go behind the curtain because we're right by we're right by the wall and the curtains. So I go behind the curtain and take my shirt off. Now, there's gigantic windows there. So I'm basically standing in the Marriott Hotel in front of these giant glass windows, taking my shirt off, right? Whoop! And then these two chicks come wandering by, and one of them looks over and sees my glorious fucking fish belly hanging out. And like, I just start cackling because it's just too funny to me. And then she says something to a friend, and they're both looking at me. So my fucking fat white fish belly, like this shit right here, is just on display in the window for these ladies, right? And I'm just like, what the fuck, right? So they basically They basically obviously looked askance at me. Let's put it that way. So I come back out from behind the curtain. I got the t-shirt on. I'm all good. And then later I go back, like, do another Superman change. And it's funny because I'm behind the curtain and Capricorn comes up, starts talking to Carly, and he says something about me. And I just fucking appear from behind the curtain. I'm like, what'd you fucking say? Right? And he was just like, what the fuck? What are you doing back there? I'm like, I'm always everywhere, motherfucker. You think you can talk shit about me and I won't fucking know? I'm right here. I'm everywhere, bitch. It was amazing. It was amazing. So, Carly spent the entire time we were at the Shattering building a deck for the Sunday event, which blew my mind. I was like, Wayne getting on board was one thing. Double Strike going, yeah, I want to be down with this was one thing. But Carly going, yo, I want to build this deck, genuinely surprised me. So, like, even after the Shattering ended, it's like 1 a.m, and we're sitting out with Baba and his lady, chilling out by the pool, talking about stuff. And I'm going through Carly's deck. I'm going through, like, the rares and stuff I already cracked to see if I could help her improve her deck a bit. I found a couple of cards that would help pump it up. And we made a couple of tweaks to it. So that was good. Now, I didn't have time to build myself a proper deck for the event. I ended up taking one of the precons and making like one alteration to it. I found a really cool rare land and went, I'm going to slap that in there. And that's the deck that I played. So I got the stuff that I already showed you. I was given a special quill box, which, by the way, has that ultra quill that Double Strike got. So one of those in here, right? And then Jeff just comes by and he's like, yo, have you seen the dragon boxes? I'm like, no, I don't know what dragon boxes are. So he's like, come here and I'll show you this stuff. I'll show you this stuff. And then out of his personal collection, he's like, here you go, buddy. I'm going to hook you up with the box. And see up at the top? See how it's numbered? These are ultra special boxes. That's how many there are. That's how many there are. So he hooked me up with that. And actually, on that note, I want to fucking let you guys know something that's genuinely impressive. So, Hobo Hunter Jeff, right? When he's not fucking busy murdering the less fortunate, he has a surprising philosophy about his card game, right? Where it goes like this. He doesn't just take boxes for himself. He doesn't just take cards and stuff for himself. He wants to get the stuff from people who already have it. So he's not like, I'm just going to take stuff from the production facility. He literally is like, I'm only going to get the stuff from other people who have gotten it. I'm not just going to take stuff out the back door, which blows my mind, because if I ran a card game company, I'd be like, no, I'll just take some. Who gives a shit? Like, fuck you, this is my game. I made it. I made all this stuff. This is mine. But he has a surprise, for a guy who murders homeless people, he has a surprising stance, an ethical stance on this stuff, right? And you're hoping for a Quill or an Emma. I cracked an Emma in the first booster pack I opened, bro. I have an Emma. Ferg Dragon boxes are loaded. I know. He came back later and was like, did you crack that Dragon box? I'm like, I can't crack the fucking Dragon box yet. I don't know enough about this game. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta wait until I know more before I crack the best shit. This is what you crack last, right? You don't start with the finish, right? So yeah, I got hooked up with all of this. And then later he comes back and he's like, here, I want you to look at these and I want you to pick one. And he brought a bunch of, here, let me get the face down camera. Here. We got this crazy sky whale dude right here, right? So I went through the cards and I picked this because it's a big fat dummy. It's got 13 power, which is the most I've seen on any card. And when it comes out, it makes a 5 power flying token as well. So, bam. That's some big time. That's some big time shit right there. And then we got this one as well. Carly got to pick one afterwards. He's like, here, go have Carly pick one too. So we got this graded stuff as well, which was absolutely amazing. Very neat. So yeah, I was given a bunch of awesome stuff. And we went and we played in the Saturday event, and me and Carly got matched up first. And as soon as they said we were matched up, I started yelling, "Yeah, I got to beat my wife" at the top of my lungs. So I scrubbed out like a little bitch. Carly did all right. And Double Strike ended up making it into the top 8. So all the people in the top 8 graciously agreed to skip lunch. Again, it was an issue with the lunch thing, you know? But yeah, it was awesome. It was genuinely awesome. Jess, I don't know. I don't know how much they pay anybody anything. I think it was Tinsman's son was responsible for a bunch of the card art. It's basically a combination of AI and then like fucking digital editing, which is actually something that caused the game to run into trouble because some people were like, yo, this is some horse shit about the AI stuff, which is understandable, right? People have different perspectives on it. Before I met with them, I looked into the company and I definitely found people complaining about that. And I understand their complaints. When it comes down to AI art, it isn't a cut and dry kind of scenario. So I looked at it like this. I'm not cool with games like Magic the Gathering saying, yo, we have a commitment to using artists and then stealthing in AI. Games choosing to start with AI is going to be a to-taste situation. They're not hiding it. They're stating what it is. And on one hand, you want to have real artists. On the other hand, the new world is going to be something different. And I don't want to be I'm just not going to deal with anything like this. So I looked at this as an opportunity to meet Tinsman, see what a game like this would be like. And if it turned out it was a skis, fuck it. I'm not obligated to anything. I'm not. I didn't tie myself down to even talk about the game. I could have walked from that event and never, ever mentioned it. Carly, what? What are you saying about Midnight? I don't think he's in here anymore. I think Midnight bounced. I think he left. He probably went to ask his woman, wait a minute, what was that fedora stuff about? Right? But yeah, that guy does, he does plastic printing to fix people's spines and shit. He does some actually cool shit. He thinks he's Jesus. I know that. Jesus, oh, that's why. He's like, Anyways. So yeah, the AI art thing, some people are going to be pissed about that and want nothing to do with that. And that's fine. Everybody's allowed to choose their lane and what they want to engage with. For me, I enjoyed the game. The artwork, I will say, everything's right in the middle. And there's definitely room for improvement in that regard. But I'm not automatically against something just because of that. There's a couple of different things that basically hosed the game in the first place and got them blasted off of Kickstarter. When I looked them up originally, they had a bunch of bad press. And I looked at it and I also went, I've been on the internet for a long time. And I know that shit gets overblown. I know that people lie, right? Because they do it about me. There's a bunch of shit people have said about me that's absolutely not fucking true. So I figured, fuck it. I'm going to go meet Tinsman. I'm going to see what it's like. And there's no fucking strings attached. And unbeknownst to me, a bunch of the people on the team were already my fans, right? They're ultimately my fans, you know? And I was surprised by that. So it was like some of the questions I was asked, I was like, shit, like, you've been watching me for a while. Jeff, the guy who owns the company, he's been watching me since before he started making this game. So it was surprising to me to find out, wait a minute, like when you deal with companies, they will go, hey, like, we think you're great, we love you, what you do, but it's lies. It's lies. They haven't watched me. They just like the people watch me and want to use it. So I'm used to that. I'm not used to a bunch of people actually knowing who I am. And like Joe is even saying, he's like, bro, I totally wanted to fanboy out when I met you, but I just like kept it cool, right? And that was a reaction to multiple people. I wasn't expecting that. Wait, am I getting people confused? Is this the wrong people? Did I get it all twisted? Oh well, whatever. Maybe I'm thinking about the wrong people. That's fine. That's fine. So maybe the people I'm talking about weren't in here. Whatever. Whatever. It's all good. The stories are still the same, right? Oh, Midnight is the one who did that crazy picture. 3D Spine Man's not here. Okay. Cool. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well then, the stuff I said does not apply to people in here. Forget if you heard that associated with whatever. I fucked that up. Doesn't matter. Not a big deal. So, oh shit. I forgot. They at the Shattering, they gave away these posters, okay? So, they have these posters, right? And they're limited numbers. So, I got number 47 out of 99. But they had a special 1 out of 1 poster that's different than all the rest. And Carly won it. Carly won it. Straight up. Straight up. And it was so desirable. And it's a poster. So, I mean, we already have a poster. Carly didn't really care that much. Like, overall, she's like, yeah, I won it. But she was like, what did I win? Why is everyone going nuts? And I'm like, you got the best poster. But then you've got the guys who were doing a Whatnot stream. They're, what is it? What are they called? Caster Society or something like that? So they graciously agreed to auction off Carly's poster because we don't have a lot of money, right? We are not, I mean, we ain't rolling in dough. Not like some of these people at this event have crazy money. So they agreed to auction off the poster, and they did. And then they were just like, the person who bought the poster apparently used a coupon that would make it half price. And there's all these fees, but they were just like, you know what? We're not going to charge you any of those fees, at any of it. We're even going to eat the half coupon loss. They basically paid the extra out of their own fucking pocket. And we're just like, here you go. You can have it all. It was crazy. It was awesome. Oh, yeah. And speaking of awesome, and you can't see it because it's hidden in between. There's actually 2 posters here. There's mine and Double Strike's poster. And in between these posters is a Magic the Gathering artifact of legend. And by that I mean, inside here, you can't see it because it's protected inside this, there is an original piece of Magic the Gathering artwork. A hand-painted, an actual Magic the Gathering painting. Tinsman brought me a Magic the Gathering painting from a set that was never released, and he searched online, and nobody has ever seen it. There is no image of that artwork anywhere online. So I have artwork that has never been seen by anybody outside of Wizards of the Coast hidden behind this poster here, right? And I will reveal it at a chosen time. But for real, I couldn't believe it. He came over to me, he's like, man, I brought you something special. And it was really interesting talking to Tinsman, because this guy's worked on Magic forever, right? And all these people are coming up to him, asking him for signatures and showing him love. And like I said, he's on the spectrum, so a little bit, it seems like he might not be 100% sure how to react to people, but he was giving them what they wanted. And he was talking to me about how crazy it is and how he's essentially got imposter syndrome. And I'm like, you're the fucking real deal, dude. You've literally worked a ton of Magic. You've made a bunch of other games. I'm like, soak it in, bro. Soak it in. You made this game that all these people are excited about. And I told him, I'm like, I feel you though, too. I feel like an imposter all the time, too, man. So I get it. I get it. We focus on the 5% of shit that we're doing wrong or not doing, and we don't take a look at the 95% that we're doing right. You know what I mean? So it was really cool getting to hang out with him. I had a lot of fun playing the game over the course of the weekend. And then Jeff wanted to talk to me. Hobo Hunter wanted to talk to me about us essentially partnering up, right? What can we do together? And over the course of this event, I became friends with like all of them. That's what it felt like. Like on the final evening on Sunday night, when we were, because we're leaving on Monday. Sunday night, we went out to the Brazilian steakhouse together. And we had a really nice meal at the end of the day. And at that point, when we were all leaving, it was all hugs and shit. We had reached the hug level. And it feels like when you go camping in the summer or something and you're somewhere for like a week and you make genuine friends and you're disappointed that you're leaving. It's like, oh man, I can't believe I'm leaving. Like, I really like hanging out with you guys. I enjoyed the whole team. It was awesome. I didn't want to go. I was just like, bro, I want to stay and keep hanging with you guys. So Jeff ended up like wanting to talk to me about doing stuff. Like, hey, we're gonna like I want to do stuff with you. And I was just like, I don't know if I can really do much of anything for you. You know what I mean? Like, I was just kind of like, I don't want to overpromise anything. I don't want to make you think that I can do. Like, it's funny because he's like, let's do something. And I'm just like, I don't know, because I don't want to let him down. And it was so unlike the normal sort of negotiations that you end up with to do some kind of like sponsorship or whatever else, because it was all just cards on the table. Nobody was trying to maneuver and go, oh, I'm hiding information from you and I'm trying to get the best of you and all this other crap that happens when I'm dealing with other companies where they're always trying to hose you. They're always trying to hose you, right? So ultimately, we talked about things. He wants me to come out to the next Shattering, which I'm absolutely down for. He's talking about maybe we could have a historian dinner so that you guys could come out. We'll know further in advance. We'll have it planned. And you guys could literally come out to a Magic Historian dinner to hang out with me. And he was even saying, like, have you ever considered writing your own stories and whatever? And I said, well, I've come up with a couple of ideas for novels, but I'm not a professional writer. He's like, because we can give you like a character from the game and you can create your own lore around them if you want. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not like a professional writer or anything. He's like, well, what if we got a professional writer and you would just kind of like guide them and revise what they did? And I'm like, well, that's theoretically possible. So he's talking about us having like a years-long relationship doing different things together. And I'm totally open to it. I'm still waiting because he's going to send me an email with the specific details. But we sat down for 2 hours talking about all this stuff. And this guy's a fucking big shot, right? He's running multiple companies. He's super well off. And I'm just some fucking chump in comparison. But he doesn't make me feel like that, right? He's just talking to me like we're just two random dudes. He's so chill and unassuming. William, you're right. Jeff is like that. He's a straight shooter. He loved that I called him the fucking hobo hunter. Like, I made the joke about him hunting. Like, I made him laugh a bunch, but the hobo hunter shit made him super laugh. So later on, he told me, he's like 6 hours later, bro, I was laughing about that shit. And I mean, he changed his name to Hobo Hunter in the stream here even. So I feel like I just made a bunch of friends. And I'm super excited to go and do more. I'm excited to sort all my cards, to crack stuff. I mean, we're going to put Wonders on the wheel. We're going to put it in the rotation. I've got a lot of stuff to go through. Ultimately, it was a really excellent time. Zircon, it would be great. It would be great. Genuinely. So Eric, best nickname anyone ever gave me. Oh shit, Eric, is that your Beef Arms? Is that you, Beef Arms? I was just read that. I'm like, best nickname anyone ever gave me. I'm like looking at that. I'm like, what does that mean? That's fucking Beef Arms. Bro, I didn't even realize that was you. Like, I didn't put the connection. Well, hello, Beef Arms. How you doing, big boy? How you doing? I gave a bunch of people nicknames, right? Beef Arms, fucking Big Man. Frank is F Rank, right? So yeah, I gave people a bunch of nicknames. Had a great fucking time talking to everybody. It was dope. There is not a bad one in the bunch. At all. At all. So fucking dope. Hey, what up? Chipotle. Wow, you're in Costa Rica. Nice. Enjoy. Just wait till Perp gets his own card. Hatcher, stealer of wives. So yeah, I mean, it only took one game for me to realize this is a genuine, real game with depth and strategy. It isn't some empty, smooth brain garbage, right? So, I mean, think about it. I literally was clocking a box on the table going, does nobody want that? Does nobody want that? I'll take those. I thought they were just common and uncommons. I'm like, I'll use them to fill up play sets. That's fine by me. What do I care, right? Like, I need cards for me and Carly. And if I get extras, I can give them to Double Strike too, right? So ultimately, it's been awesome. And yeah, also, the other thing Jeff was talking about was, we can do that. Like, you do a live stream with Tinsman. You guys talk about card game design. You talk about all that. Because Tinsman did a banger job on this. And it's something else. Like, we're texting. On the ride back, Tinsman's texting me. He's just texting me shit like, yo, I'm thinking about that flank steak that we had. I'm like, it's so wild that we're just texting back and forth like fucking friends now, you know? And then I can just shoot over to him like, yo, can I get a copy of the comprehensive rules? And he's like, yeah, and I made those changes you suggested. I expect you to go hard on me when there's problems or whatever. I expect you to do what you do. Don't worry, I got a thick skin from years of doing this. I'm like, I'll tell you how it is, right? I'm not going to be a dick to you where it's not warranted. And I rant and yell. That's what I do. That's my style. That's my style. That's my style. William, yeah. The collectors obviously just care about the foils. I'm still having a hard time with just calling the cards paper. It feels derogatory. I don't like it. I'm like, yo, like this is a game about playing the game. Don't refer to the fucking regular game pieces as just paper. It just feels strange. It feels strange. You know, I'm like, like, oh, this is just a paper quill. Fuck you, this is a quill. This does everything it's supposed to do in a game. But it doesn't reflect the light. This ain't baseball cards, bitch. Right? But that comes down to as well that the guy who owns the game doesn't play card games. And he's a collector of cards and shit. So he's used to the baseball card collector mentality, although he was surprised somebody left a quill as well. But I think that there's a little bit of a second-class citizen vibe going on with the paper stuff that I can't say I'm too keen on. And I think that needs to be eradicated from the overall vibe to help the people treat it more as a game as well. There's certain things that are going on. I mean, I'll elaborate on my thoughts more on that when I talk more about the game specifically, because this is more about the adventure and the event. But I had an absolutely amazing time. And there was exceeding amounts of generosity, which I don't feel like I tried to... Like, I didn't try and get extra things. I mean, aside from cards and shit. Yeah, I was angling for more stuff. But I didn't try and take advantage of the situation. I didn't try and take advantage of the generosity. You know, I feel like I came in at the right level. It was really cool that they got me and Double Strike our own separate rooms, because he has a fucking CPAP machine and shit. And it's just nice to have our own separate rooms for when I want to walk around with my balls hanging out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, ultimately I was really pleased that Kelly went the extra mile to get us a room for like people with disabilities, because it wasn't asked for and it was just like this small comment, but the attention to detail. Kelly is a great person. Everybody on the fucking team was awesome. Even I forgot the second half of her name. Nancy something. I can't remember now because I called her Nan Bread and other things. Nancy Margaret. There you go. They were like, you can't call her anything else. She's chill. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You know? So yeah, ultimately, I was surprised that the game is as good as it is. I was like, this is a genuine game. Tinsman has done a good job on it. He told me a bunch of random things about the inner workings of like Wizards of the Coast, which was really cool and interesting. And he told me things about Wonders, the design of the starter decks, how he went to the lake house, they matched them up, and in a couple of days, they made sure they were all reasonably balanced against each other after the initial waves and stuff. So, yeah, it was a really good experience. And I'm absolutely keen to do more stuff together. We'll see, because you never know how things are going to work out. And maybe it's possible, I don't feel like it's likely, but maybe it's possible that what they're going to send over to me is going to be something that I go, actually, I can't agree to this. You know, like I thought we were going to be able to do something, but we can't agree to it. I highly doubt that, because I feel like there's anything that I'm not cool with that they will just help me hash it out and like sort it out ultimately, because everything has been on the level to the point where I kept waiting for where's the skis? Where am I going to get fucked? How are they going to try and use me? And now I feel like Jeff wouldn't try and fuck me even if I was unconscious, tied down, and covered in Diddy oil to the point where I wouldn't even remember doing it. I still feel like he wouldn't try and fuck me. It was funny when we were talking and he's just saying, I want us to work together. And I'm just like, I don't think that I can get you the numbers that you're going to need for what you want to do. And he's like, It's not, you don't really even need to do that much. And I'm like, and he's just like, I'm not looking for this. I'm not looking for this. I'm not looking for this. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And I'm like a skittish horse that he's like, it's okay, buddy. It's okay. Like it was like that where I was just like, I don't know, man. I like you and what you guys are doing. And I don't want to let you down. And I don't want to take on too much and all this stuff. So ultimately, it's funny how it went. I never thought that that's how the conversation, I never thought that that's how all this would go. But ultimately, it was awesome. The only complaints I have about the trip are we got stuck in some bullshit traffic on the way back for a while, and I made the mistake of eating at Arby's. Like, guys, Arby's in Canada is great. I want to explain something. Arby's in Canada is great. Every time that I get Arby's in Canada, it's awesome. And whenever I talk about Arby's, all you guys in the States go, Arby's, gross, ooh. And I'm like, fuck you, Arby's is awesome. So I ate Arby's in the States. I get it now. That ain't meat. That's depression pushed down into little wet slaps of grossness. And that Arby's is the worst fast food I've ever had in my life. The guy working at the Arby's who made the sandwich was so mad. Like, ordered food, and then he just taking the buns and he's whipping them. And I'm like, oh, this guy's going to fucking kill somebody. He walked in front of me when I was going somewhere, and he's like, sorry, sir. I didn't want to say anything back to him. I'm like, please don't fucking kill me. Please do not murder me. I get it. This Arby's is the worst. Here, please don't kill me. It was insane. They had a claw machine where the prizes were like random key rings, just like the metal ring. And like they had a drop the quarter in machine. And there was a $1 bill and a $2 bill in it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? The Arby's was attached to a convenience store where truckers take showers. The whole thing was fucking wild, man. It was wild. Just wild. Ho on and non-foil's fine. You said paper all your life and don't consider it an insult. You have some very valuable paper baseball cards for what it's worth. Fair enough. I'm just talking about my opinion and my perspective. I'm not saying that everybody feels the way that I do. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Arby's and getting stuck in traffic on the way back was the only shitty part. As soon as we got to the border of Canada, it was so nice. The weather was so nice in fucking South Carolina. And then we got back to the border and it instantly started snowing. It wasn't snowing until the exact moment we rolled up to the border. And Car's like, is it snowing? And I'm like, nah. She's like, I think it's snowing. And then all of a sudden the flakes are coming down. I'm like, son of a bitch, it's so cold here. And we came back and I had hoped that after being there for a week, it'd be warmer here. But I'm like, damn it, man. They have fucking palm trees. They have fat little muty fucking palm trees there. It's crazy. Bo Falcon, most Arby's in the States suck because they don't give a shit. Both employees and owners because the pay sucks. You have a good one, but it went out of business because of reputation. It's so bad. Now I get it. They have different meats in America. They must. The meat was insane. I wished I had ordered what Carly ordered. Her burger was small and soggy, but it was smaller. That's why I wish I had had it. It was just awful. William, you were the one trading dad jokes. Oh, you were with me and Loco when we were cracking those jokes and going 6'7" Riz Huzz. Okay, all right. Sigma action, bro. Sigma action. So yeah, the whole thing exceeded my expectation. Palmetto tree is the state tree, but they're pretty tall, like 20 feet when grown. Oh, okay. All right. I wasn't expecting that. That's stuff that I expect to see in like far-flung tropical countries and shit. So ultimately, yeah, like it was great. It was great. I was genuinely surprised. I can say this, Wonders of the First is actually a legitimate card game. It got Carly on board, it got Double Strike on board, it got me on board. Everybody can make their own decisions, but I'm gonna fuck with it. You know what I mean? And I'm open to more things. So like I said, there's a good chance that we're gonna have a stream where you guys are going to be able, in a limited window, to have a chance to snag. He's going to see if he can find some boxes, and then we'll be able to make those available, right? I make no promises, nothing set in stone, but there's a good chance you will have an opportunity to get yourself some wonders, all right? You can, in the meantime, you can wonder if that's going to happen. But either way, I'm quite glad we went to the States. I had some trepidation about the whole thing, but it was unwarranted. Lasagna, shut up. I didn't promise. I did not promise, bro. Roast beast could be anything. Horse, raccoon. Yeah, it's not roast beef, it's roast beast. Arby's was god awful, bro. Just god awful. Got, you like seeing pictures of me in the States? I've got more. I got more pictures and video footage and stuff. I'm going to try and put together a vlog and put that up over on Hatcher, right? Can I describe the feeling of the game at all playing? I mean, it starts out simple. You start, like, there's 7 realms across the board, right? Like those 7 lanes that I showed you. And each one opens up one turn after the other, right? So at first, you're just battling in the first realm. Then you can battle in the first and second. The third realm opens up, and each successive turn. So now you have to make decisions because there's a stone in each of the different realms. And then whoever has most stones at the end win. So you only have to have 4 out of the 7 stones to win. And depending on the scenario, maybe even less. You just have to have more stones than your opponent. So you can choose to keep battling in the same place. You can hop over here. There's lots of different ways to play with the whole different realms concept. So it starts out a little more simple and slow, but once you get to about turn 4, it starts to get a little more hot and heavy. And then by the time you're into 6 and 7, it's getting more wild. And you absolutely can go from winning the game to losing the game in one turn. And as Wayne, Double Strike's laughing because there's a gorilla guy who you can use to smash the stones. You can just destroy the win cons. You can just go boom, 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 and actually just remove them, which is totally wild. So there's a bunch of different stuff. I haven't seen all of the cards. I'm genuinely thinking of collecting a full set as well on top of it because I've got a bunch to go through. I'm ultimately excited about it. It's got me enthused. It's excited my friends. My friend, and other people haven't seen it yet. But Jeff was also talking about, he gets it, man. He gets it. He's trying to get this stuff in with I don't even know how much of this I should say. I'm not 100% sure. Let me just say that he understands. I don't know the stuff I'm supposed to say and not say, but he understands some of the things that it takes to make games successful. And I talked about some of the key indicators that I look for to say that a game has established itself. And he's already working behind the scenes to get that stuff happening. And he said, I know that you need people to play with, so he's talking about sending out some stuff that I can give to the people who go to my game store so they also have their own collections and we can have a bunch of people playing the game, you know? So ultimately, they're making the right moves. And this is... walking the line of serving collectors of the game because this game has a no reprint policy, which obviously is a very reserve list-esque kind of thing. And I'm curious to see how that's going to shake out overall. So there's some things about the game that I know are really solid. There's some things I'm curious about how they're going to turn out. So, you know. Andrew, how many cans of Barks have I slammed of U.S. Barks? Guys, I bought 6 cases of U.S. Barks root beer because you can't get the you can't get cans here right now. It's impossible. So I brought back 6 cases with me, and I'd say, I think today I probably have like 4 cans just today, you know? Just today. Lasagna, the last 2 weeks felt empty to you. You didn't hear too many insults in the last few weeks. Bro, I feel you. I came down planning to stream more, but my days were so full of doing shit that I was just exhausted at the end of the day and didn't have time to stream. I was like, I miss hanging out with you guys. So I was able to stream a couple times early in the morning, but ultimately, I didn't have time. And I felt bad because I know there are people like, bro, I miss the streams. I miss hanging out with you. Lasagna, you miss being insulted, you gangrenous dong chugger? Lonnie, Legend of the Five Rings, I mean, you destroy the provinces in that, but I don't know. I wouldn't really, like, Wonders of the First is its own thing. It has easy one-to-one mechanical understandings that you can bring your magic knowledge into. I'd say, what's this? And someone will go self-mill. So you can easily pick up on some of the concepts, but the 7-turn sequence is its own thing as you progress up it. And I quite like it, actually. I do like the fact that the game ain't over until it's over. You can think you're going to win and have that snatched away from you, and you can think you're going to lose and actually pull it off. There is a lot more you can do with the game than I originally thought. Even when I heard that there was the 7 realms and 7 turns, at first I was like, that seems like it might be shallow. But I don't know. I can tell you one thing. Capricorn has been fucking with this game for over 9 months, right? He's another YouTuber. And he's going to have bragging rights as being one of the first people to ever, he's one of the first people to recognize, yo, this is worth messing with, right? And it's wild to me that these guys chose me specifically to focus on bringing down, because they didn't have a bunch of content. I expected there to be a bunch of content creators there, because when I get pulled into something, they're like, they reached out to a bunch of people and I'm just a face in the fucking crowd. But they specifically targeted me for this. And that's wild to me. You know what I mean? Because you'd figure you'd want to get people who are more easy to control. You know what I mean? Because I'm a fucking wild man, right? Like, you can't fucking tell me what to do. You can't control me with fucking money. I'm not a fucking sellout. So it doesn't matter. Like, you can't buy me and you can't fucking fool me, really. I mean, obviously anybody can be fooled to agree, and maybe just a master manipulator. But for real, it feels like everything's on the up and up. I was surprised at how chill it was. I consider the people on the team my fucking friends already. I fucking think these guys are great. And I'm hyped on this game. And I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. If people don't like some of the stuff they're doing, cool. You're allowed to fucking feel that way. I don't give a fuck. I'm enjoying myself, right? There's people who don't like all kinds of different things I do. We don't like that you fucking did that sponsorship with the silver coin. We don't like that you're doing the sponsorship with the proxy company. Well, fucking suck my taint. I'm going to do what I want to fucking do and what feels right to me. I'm going to be guided by myself. So it genuinely surprised me that they would want to bring me down. And ultimately, originally, I had no idea this was going to turn out to be all right. I thought, yo, I definitely want to meet Tinsman. I'm glad I did. I sat down and played fucking Commander with Tinsman, the guy who worked on the Eldrazi set, the guy who invented Annihilator, and then that cockbag used Annihilator on me, and he fucking trolled me about it in my own Discord. He's fucking trolling me about it. I shared a picture on that. By the way, guys, don't get into a sparring match with him. He does MMA grinding submission fights. And if you see footage of it and you see the crazy look in his eyes, the man's a fucking maniac. I was making fun of him for the whole Dvorak keyboard. I use the Dvorak keyboard. It's more efficient. And I'm like, fuck you, you pretentious dick. Also, I started yelling about how mana costs. I'm like, you can't ignore mana costs in Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering mana costs are the balancing factor. And he was just like, he got this like long-suffering sigh, like, oh, this is the kind of argument that I had with people in R&D. And he's just like, well, I gave Emrakul a 15 mana cost. And I'm like, yeah, and how did that turn out? It got fucking banned, didn't it? Because you can cheat it out. And he's like, no, because if it goes to the graveyard. And I'm like, we're not talking about it going to the graveyard, and you fucking know that. So like the first night I met him, I'm literally at the steakhouse yelling at him about Magic design. Because even when I'm meeting somebody I respect, it's just like, I can't be fake. And I'm not going to be overawed by you, right? So, I don't know. Ultimately, dope experience across the board. Fucking awesome. And if they manage this shit right, they can totally settle in to that tier below the big boys. And that's, they said too. We're not trying to fucking be Magic the Gathering. We're not trying to beat Magic the Gathering. That's too big a goal, right? Kind of thing. And it's unreasonable. But making an actual established game that sticks around, making choices so that people have cards to enjoy many years down the road and all that, totally doable. This isn't a one and done scam that's trying to pilfer you. And I thought it might be. I genuinely thought it might be. But I knew that I wasn't beholden to shit because I didn't sign a contract or agree to do anything. So they did it right in terms of setting stuff up to get me to wander in and go, yeah, I'll see what you got going on. And when you got something like this, that's what Tinsman said to them. He's like, just get Hatcher to come down here. Just get him to come down here. We'll show him the game, and it's going to be fine. You watch, right? I may be paraphrasing, but that's basically, I don't know who all was pushing to get me down there, but multiple people said they were fucking fans of what I do, and I believed it instead of it just being empty crap you say to a fucking YouTuber to manipulate him like a schmo. You know? Like, Ultimately, that's the deal. So, it's time for me to wrap it up. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Loco, you are Lord of the Board. That means your name will be added to one of the art cards, and you will be placed inside the box of glory, where all Lord of the Board Streamlords end up. Check out how many Streamlords there are already. When you win 5 times, you end up on the Roll of Glory, which is upside down right now. But these all represent different streams. And this isn't every stream I've done. This is just since I started this box. Okay, so hundreds and hundreds of streams. So, you did it, buddy. You made it in Sigma 6767 Hus. Thanks for coming, everybody. I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow night's stream will be over on the Historian unless some news breaks and I cover that there. All right? So, have a good one. Stay safe and fucking stay hard. Watch out for the chainsaw, man. Peace the fuck out.